Hey, I'm Blake.
And I'm Dave.
And we're back. It's another weekly movie stream of Valentine's Day weekly movie stream.
Yeah, we decided to dress festive. And by we, I mean me.
No, Dave wore a beautiful pink shirt. I wore my beautiful pink complexion. So you are welcome.
Made
who do
better
we got
by
here?
the pink lights in the back.
I know. I'm just really trying to amp up my my golden pinkish glow. I look like a newborn baby piglet. So fresh. Feels good to be out here in the world.
But I'm going to be lying.
so who do we got here? Give us a shout out if you're in the chat. If you couldn't or if you didn't know by now, Dave and I are obviously alone here on Valentine's Day, but together in spirit and with all of you. So yeah, Dave, how was your week, buddy? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I can't complain too much, but I could if I tried harder.
Go for it.
Work's been fine. Last week was it last week? I don't know. I watched a movie for fun.
Dude, what? Tell me.
I rewatched a movie for fun, I should say. I didn't.
Still counts.
I watched The Martian again.
Oh, right on. I think I only saw it once. I don't know if I really care to go out of my way to see it again. What do you think?
Well, the reason why I watched it again is because I have been into audiobooks a lot lately. Yeah. Well, actually, not lately, but I was before, and then I started getting back into them, and The Martian is one of them. And I was like, let's see how different it is from the movie. And as I'm listening to it the whole time, I'm like, it's exactly the same. That's so strange. It's exactly the same. And then watching it back, I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot less in the movie.
Oh, well, I would hope so. It'd be an 8-hour movie.
They didn't change a whole lot, but they took a lot out that they, I guess, didn't need.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad we're kind of getting into the era. Oh, hey, Chloe One, what's up? I'm glad we're getting into the era of people trying to stop adapting books into films, or more just going the series route, like the limited series route. Yeah, I think that's the right answer. Yes. Honestly,
it's way smarter because you can put a lot more in there. You don't have to take out and be upset about everything. You know.
Yeah, whatever. Especially if it's a super popular book, you don't have to like alienate some of your audience. But whatever. Look at a million other films that have a huge following as opposed to the books. Looking at you, The Shining.
Chloe One, I would like to address the candy hearts idea. I don't have any candy hearts, but my mom did give me this. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you guys are going to redeem your channel points, and Dave gets to eat fucking Kit Kats, and I gotta eat goddamn chalk from 1943. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks. Love you all. Loving you. This is terrible. This is off to a terrible start, but I had a great week. I saw a new movie.
Which movie?
I saw a friend of mine, Rob. He's a director of photography. Really awesome dude. Mm-hmm. He DP'd a documentary called Cat Daddies. There's a Q&A for. So I went to Santa Monica and see the film. I had no idea what it was about. Sounded sexy. It's not sexy, but it is very cute. It is very cute. It's about men that own cats and like all these different things and their storylines. It's really heartwarming. It's very sweet. They touch on a lot of great things. And honestly, like, not kidding, you should watch this movie. It's a feel-good movie, and it's really, really well done. It's called Cat Daddies, and I think it's coming out to Amazon on Friday or something like that. So check out if you like cats or cute cats. It's a movie full of them.
Yep.
There's some. Listen, Chloe. Yes is the answer. Yes, there's some hotties in the film for sure. Lots of middle-aged dudes just doing their thing as well. Lots of good people. Something for everybody, I would argue.
Oh, cool. That sounds like fun.
For sure.
Hot cat dads and cats that are annoying, I'm guessing.
Yeah. The cats are not annoying. The cats are very cool, and they have a lot of great stories. But anyway, that was my week, and now I'm going to buy a cat. Adopt a cat. You shouldn't say buy a cat, probably. No. I want to fork over cash in an alley for a cat.
Also, you'll probably die because of your allergies, but
I hope. No, I don't hope. I was scolded about that, about talking like that recently, and
really?
I'm not gonna. Yes, I was. By a loving fan, Josh. I love you. He's concerned about me, and I appreciate that. But moving on from self-destruction and cats, there's some stuff going on in the world, Dave, of movies.
Yes, there is.
Got some movie news. Do you have any movie news? Do you want me to start?
You can start. I have a couple, but you can start.
Okay, I have one that really fucking bugs me, and I want to get your read on this. We're getting a reboot of the classic Leslie Nielsen spoof film, The Naked Gun.
Oh, I did see something about that.
You want to know what's worse?
What's worse?
In my opinion, we did a stream, you and I, about A Million Ways to Die in the West. This is a spoof movie, a reboot, rather, of a spoof movie starring Liam Neeson, helmed by Seth MacFarlane.
Well, we're screwed. We are screwed.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Never forget.
I love how that's just on your desk.
It's a daily reminder of my frustration with life. I don't get it. I don't get it because they better give us a new vision for this thing, because this movie came out, the original one, that is, The Naked Gun, came out when it did for a reason. Because during the 80s, all those big cop drama movies and stuff came out, and it was part of the cultural zeitgeist, if you will, these cop movies. And so now we have a spoof movie making fun of it. Who is this for? Why is this coming out? What do we need this for?
Is Liam Neeson really going to play Leslie fucking what's his face's?
I guess.
Is that really what's going to happen?
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, and so I might be jumping the gun. I hope it's good, but I don't have any hope for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Dave, I mean, and I feel like the general movie audiences today are over spoof films.
Probably. I mean, honestly, when's the last one that came out that was actually good?
And that's a great question. A really great question. I don't have an answer for that because I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway, that's going to happen. So cool. Good for us, Dave. I guess hopefully we don't have to cover it on this show, but maybe. I don't know. It depends on how
I don't want to do it.
Self-loathy I feel at the time it comes out.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to do that.
If it's bad enough, I might be interested.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it is bad enough, I guess we will make ourselves suffer for this stream.
Do you got anything? Or I do have a question for you, actually.
What is it?
It's movie news related. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has come out. I don't know anything about it because I don't care, but you're a Marvel guy. I heard it's not good. Your thoughts?
I heard that it was I heard that it was fun but had no substance. So I'm a little worried.
Okay. Clubby one, Hackers, classic 90s tech film. I love it very much. Not because it's great, but because it is really fun and goofy. Hacker. Oh, dude, we got to watch Hackers.
Why don't we watch it next week?
I was thinking about watching Hackers when we were watching these movies that we're talking about today, specifically Ghost in the Shell. I was like, we should watch Hackers and do an episode of bad 90s technology movies.
Yeah, I don't know of any other ones. I don't even know Hackers. So
Hackers, there's a movie called Virtuosity starring Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington where they have to go into a VR world.
Let's do it.
It's fucking
that sounds
ridiculous.
Awful. Let's do it.
They're bad. They're really funny.
I'm down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do it. That's what we're doing next week. More shitty tech movies. But anyway, yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, heard it's kind of a bummer. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna see it because I have to.
Sure, report back.
Yeah, I have to. But I have some faith, but also I think people are just getting. I would say in terms of Marvel movies, Endgame was so good that people are now just spoiled.
I can't necessarily agree. I haven't seen it, but
it's just because, I mean, it was so good and people were so spoiled that now everything is just like, oh, whatever.
I could see that because that was like a big team up movie, right? The entire like MCU was in that movie, right?
Yep.
And now we have individual stories again, so it kind of feels like you're on the downslope of the apex of these storylines, probably.
Pretty much. Yeah, but we're building towards the next team up already, so.
Okay, also, can I this had me thinking too. Are all stories going forward now going to be like multiverse kind of stories, both in DC and the Marvel Cinematic Universes, because they don't know what else to fucking do, so they're like, well, just multiverse, whatever, throw it all in there, like maximalist approach.
Well, that's not necessarily. I think that's just how MCU is getting away with some of the shit they're getting away with in terms of storylines and whatever.
Oh, okay.
And DC is like, I don't know, let's just do what they're doing.
I was to say, like, I don't know. It's an actual question. I'm obviously lost here, so what do I know? But I was thinking that the other day when I saw like another trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the current path of the MCU is just multiverse right now. So
yeah, fair enough.
Whatever. So I don't know if you heard. Speaking of reboots.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's a reboot, but it's Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan posted a selfie together and said it's Friday. I'm just saying, freaky fingers crossed.
Okay, I've asked this question before today on this stream, probably just a few minutes ago. Why?
I don't fucking know.
I don't have anything against Freaky Friday. I'm not like a particularly huge fan, but like, I don't know. Do we need it? Do we need any of this stuff?
I'm like, what are they going to do? That they get mad at each other again and then they fucking make an accidental wish in front of a shaman again or something? I don't.
Just kidding. I'm into this story if it goes this way. They age people up just a little bit. And so Lindsay Lohan's character switches with who is like a middle-aged corporate boss lady or something. And she has to switch places with Jamie Lee Curtis's character, who's in a fucking old people home. And he has to eat yogurt all day. Maybe a little granola if her teeth are feeling up to it. But yeah, that sounds awful and depressing, actually. But I watch it. I would watch that version.
It was the greedy reboot. I'm into that. No. I have a couple more movie news, but they're all very quick. So
okay, let's do it.
I'm gonna rapid fire if you don't mind.
Boom, boom. Let's do it.
First and foremost, John Wick 4's runtime is apparently going to be 2 hours and 49 minutes.
I saw this. I didn't see chapter 3, but chapter 4. So I don't know what the story's going to be. I think if a movie is over 2 hours, it's fine. I like long movies. Some of my favorite movies are long as fuck. But I think if you're going to go over 2 hours for a mainstream film, you really have to justify your time.
All I was thinking the whole time is like, this is so much fighting. That's so much. Why? I mean, how you're going to repeat the same fucking moves at some point?
Just by virtue of combinations and math in general.
Yeah, exactly. What? No.
It's that's a long runtime, dude, for real. This is not like runtime. Blade Runner 2049 here. This is John Wick, which is fine. Which is fine. They're great films, but 2 hours and 49 minutes is a commitment.
Listen, if John Wick doesn't murder literally everyone in the world in that movie, I don't want it.
Roving from city to city, pulling everybody from their homes and kicking the fuck out of them. John Wick, Chapter 4. He's coming for you.
Another piece of movie news that you might have seen, the Daniels said they wanted to do a movie called The Masseuse. It'd be about a masseuse who manages people to de-escalate violence. Massages people to de-escalate violence. So you'd go around doing yoga and massage work in order to save lives.
I saw it was a little quippy kind of like goofy thing that they're talking about on, I think it was like a red carpet press event for Variety. I did see that. I would watch it, even though I think they're joking around. I would watch that movie.
I probably would too, because they've proven that they can make the most ridiculous concepts funny as shit.
Right. Also, first prize games. John Wick Chapter 7 bankruptcy. More like John Wick Chapter 7 straight to video.
And the last thing that I have is a statement.
Okay.
From I don't know his name. Or her name. Janet Yang. Sorry, Janet Yang, who is the Academy president or whatever.
Okay.
And she said, I'm sure you all remember we experienced an unprecedented event at the Oscars. What happened on stage was fully unacceptable, and the response from our organization was inadequate. Side note, didn't they ban him for like 10 years?
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened at the Oscars last year?
We learned from this that the Academy must be fully transparent and accountable in our actions, and particularly in times of crisis, you must act swiftly, compassionately, and decisively for ourselves and for our industry. You should and can expect no less from us going forward.
Yeah, sure. Fine. Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, listen,
Cool.
The Academy, that happened last year, and the Academy was like, you guys just want to like go on a like vacation together and call it a retreat and like sip mimosas and talk about this and then maybe eventually do something. Hopefully everybody forgets and don't have to do shit. But maybe we'll do something later. I don't know. And now they get to backpedal a year later, be like, well, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Next time we'll be way better. Whatever. Fuck off.
We will be way stricter too. It's like, okay. But here's the thing. I'm pretty sure the whole world is like, okay.
Yeah, well, exactly. Nobody's paying attention to it. It's only in like the trades. I don't know if people are even talking about this. I don't even know if why I want to even talk about this, because I think it's a terrible year late response. So whatever, man.
They want to call attention to it, so they call attention to
it, or to drum up more anticipation for this year. Who knows?
Oh, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
2023 Royal Rumble.
Oh, God.
Everything's getting a movie trailer treatment tonight.
I love it. I'm all for it, honestly.
The only last couple things I have, Toy Story 5 was announced.
Ugh.
I don't know if I care. No. I don't think I even saw Toy Story 4 because I thought about it and then I forgot about it. And then I never saw it because I don't know. I don't care. I don't think I care. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure it's the same for me. Which one was the one where Andy gives them away?
All of them?
No, like he's an adult at the end of the movie and he gives them away.
I think it was Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm pretty sure.
Because Toy Story 3, I don't even remember which one's which. Because I remember Toy Story 3 came out, I think, when I was in college, like 10 years ago, right? Hold, please. Toy Story 3. Yeah, 2010.
That's fucking bonkers. 13-year-old movie. And I'm thinking about, like, how that made me cry so hard. I was like, I never want to watch another Toy Story movie again.
Just emotionally devastating.
Yes.
No, I don't blame you. Those really punch you right in the heart.
Right in the heart, right in your heart's nards.
That's your heart nards. Well, right speaking of heart nards, Dave, we released a podcast episode yesterday. We released a special Valentine's Day bonus episode where we talked about a couple movies, The Notebook and A Walk to Remember.
Yes.
Little of which I knew were both Nicholas Sparks adaptations.
I knew that going in.
See, you didn't tell me. I didn't know this.
I didn't know I had to tell you. I thought everybody knew that.
Well, I'm a dumbass. You got to tell me everything.
Yes.
Needless to say, I think you should definitely check that episode out.
Absolutely.
And not to bury the lead, but we didn't like either of them very much at all.
It does get contentious, though.
It gets very contentious. It's our most listened to day one episode we've ever had. So thank you guys for spreading the love on this thing. We really appreciate it. I feel like we're growing with every episode that comes out. So
agreed.
Everything helps. But since we hated these movies, and it is Valentine's Day, I thought, if you're cool with this, Dave, going through some of the romantic films that we both do like, So leave yours in the chat if you have a favorite romantic film you enjoy.
Absolutely do that. I picked a lot of films that had love stories in them.
And that's fine, because I don't think we have to just like stay in the like purely romance focused films necessarily. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of genre films, a lot of really great genre films, hackers, a lot of great like genre focused films that are actually just romance films. Yeah. And so I think those are also fair game. So cool. I don't know how you want to do this, because I have a fucking lot of them, but more standard ones and then a little weirder ones.
I want to start, you know how we did worst to best on our year-end recap? I want to go the other way.
Best to worst.
Our favorite movies, but like our most favorite to like, yeah, I like them.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Okay.
Granted, I whenever we do these, I'm fully on the spot and I'm like, Google. So I'm sure there's going to be some that you mentioned that I'm like, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, totally.
So I had a very limited scope of my all-time favorite movies, but I will.
That's fair. We're here to talk about it. Yes, please do.
I will start. I think my favorite romance movie of all time, and this might be a little bit weird here. Okay,
well, you haven't heard my list yet.
Is Silver Linings Playbook, actually.
Okay, that's actually a good pick. That's a really great pick. I mean, you star in it next to your ex-wife, Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't have to say that.
Tumultuous in real life, but on the screen, you guys pop. No, I think it's a really great film. As much as I really fucking hate David O. Russell as a human, I think it's a great film and like a good exploration of romance, but also like mental health issues and stuff. This is Lines podcast.
Love that. Yeah, I really liked it because it was this interesting take on like a romance movie, but also it explored a lot of mental health issues and like kind of it felt like it kind of poked at him with a stick, really, more than like really revealed anything new. But it was interesting to see someone on screen that was kind of, I don't want to say it was abuse necessarily, but was so just clouded by love that they were just completely blind to the reality of the situation, and to watch that person overcome it while falling in love with somebody else, I thought was great.
No, I think it's a great film, and honestly, I kind of forgot about it, but it does make me kind of want to rewatch it for sure. Yeah, I definitely need to check it out. I'd say for me, it's not a traditional romantic film, but I'd say number one for me is Air Bud, a dog and his basketball finding love where we didn't think love existed. Number two for me, National Treasure, Nicolas Cage and the Declaration of Independence. Right here in the Heartbone. Number four, Citizen Kane. Boy falls in love with his sled and never forgets it.
What?
Your turn.
I am confused. Chloe, funny you say that. Twilight was on my list, and I was like, no. CG's too bad. So story's great, everything's wonderful. CG's terrible. Not making the list. That's one of the
okay. But for real, my favorite romantic film of all time. I think you put me on the spot with listing these as like favorites. I don't have like a list in that way, but of my list that I have in front of me, I would say my favorite is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I got that on my list. That's it. That's in my second tier. I put it in tiers. Not that I have like a physical list or anything, but I put mine in tiers. And
you and everybody's uncle got to print it off.
I put that was in my second tier. I got 3-star tiers, 2-star tiers, and then 1-star tiers, and then one.
Oh wow!
Never mind. This is not on my list actually.
You did some homework. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. It is heart wrenching. It breaks me to pieces every time I see it, but it's so good. Jim Carrey is so good in it. It's oh man, it's everything is so wonderful and sad and weird and confusing, and it's shot great. It's written wonderful. I'm a huge Charlie Kaufman fan, dude. I love this movie. So it's probably number one for me.
Good movie, and it also it gives us this really weird thing to think about. Like, would you really erase your painful memories?
Yeah. There's a lot of existential things in there, and do those memories help shape you in your further, and later in life or your other relationships, etc. Lots of questions being asked, especially at that time. I forget what year that movie came out, but like, whew,
that was rough. Yes,
yeah, I love it.
Rough. My only other, no, I'm gonna say I have two more 3-star tiers here.
Okay,
number 2. Moonlight.
Oh, that's one I didn't have on my list, but Moonlight's that's a really good one. Adding it to my list, I'm stealing one.
You can have it, I guess. No, it was a very, very good movie, and I think it handled that. I think it handled that storyline very well, like the struggle that somebody in his situation is going through when they feel the way that they do.
Sure.
I think that it was shot beautifully. The direction was great. The acting was fantastic. And this, like I said, it was just very good. I was enamored the whole way through.
No, I agree. It's such a good movie. I want to rewatch all of these now that we're talking about it. It's so good. I need to revisit it because I think I've only seen it the one time pretty soon after it came out, and it hit me hard. And some of these things too, like I saw once, and it's like hard for me to revisit because they were amazing films, but pretty hard to get through.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie. I think a second for me, at least on my list here, is The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's film from 2017.
I never saw it, but I heard it was very good.
It's so good. It is so freaking good. It's for context, anybody who's listening, we were talking about this through text, Dave and I, earlier, and I was like, I got some weird ones. And you're like, yeah, and I was like, mine's some interspecies love going on here.
I was like,
what are we getting into? This is
come out in favor of bestiality.
No, no, definitively no. Seriously. But The Shape of Water, I saw it in theaters. I think I saw it twice in theaters.
Wow.
It is so good, and the direction's amazing, and it just tells such a classic story, and it pulls from a lot of classic cinema things and tropes. And just like we were saying last week with Pacific Rim, Guillermo del Toro can handle any genre of movie and put out a classic of that. So,
yeah, he seems to be pretty good at his whatever he puts his mind to, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, for sure. So Shape of Water is it for me. What do you got next?
All right, my last 3-star tiered movie for me, and romance / love or whatever. What Dreams May Come.
Nope. That movie destroys me. I'm never gonna watch it again because it's so heartbreaking.
Yes,
I can't do it. But yeah, it's a great film for sure.
Like, I mean, it's such a good fucking movie. Robin Williams crushes it in it, and the fact, like, listen, just this. If you tell people what the story is, it's literally a man travels through hell after he dies in a car accident to pull his wife, out of hell.
Yeah, and the cinematography is so good. The acting's so good. The story is. Dude, it's a heartbreaking film. You know what also is heartbreaking about that?
What?
The original, like the master of that film, is gone. It burned up in a vault fire, actually.
Oh, shit.
So there's no, like, the original, like, master negatives and stuff like that for that film, gone. So whatever transfers we have are what we have left.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a tough film to get through.
Yes.
I would say for me next would probably be Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It's a French film. and it is so, oh my gosh, it is so good. I was just talking about this, like I told you, I'm cutting a film for an incredibly talented director and my friend Sarah. It's a really cool film we're cutting, but we talked about this movie a lot. It came out a few years ago. It is so sweet and so subtle, and there's so much going on, and very little is said. I don't know. I highly recommend it.
Well, what's it about?
It's basically about two women who fall in love in a time where you can't really be in love, and the struggle with that, but through the lens of art. And one's a painter, and the other is her muse, essentially, like a model. And oh, dude, it's really, really good. It's a really great film.
Interesting.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
I'll have to check that out. So down to my 2-star tiers.
Yeah,
these are movies that I liked a lot, but I did not love necessarily.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Actually, I forgot one for 3 stars. But luckily I haven't moved on yet. The last one, 3-star, for real this time.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I that would not be a film that came directly to mind, but that is a great film, dude. That's such a great movie. Another great Robin Williams performance. Oh, dude.
Because obviously the story's not necessarily about love, but like it kind of revolves around Matt Damon's character, Will, him and his love interest.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it fits. That's another good film.
That movie has one of the best like burns of all time in it. Like one of the best burn lines of all time in it. When the guy's like hitting on his future girl, and he's like making her uncomfortable, and then he knocks on the window and he does do you like apples? I got a number. How do you like them apples?
Dude, yeah, that line has been so removed from context that I don't know. It's also like comedy and stuff. When movies get quoted over and over again, it like loses its effect. So when you like see things again that you thought were like really funny or really effective, and you watch it again, you're like, no. But no, it is a great film. I have a lot on my list. I'm gonna rattle through a few. Those are definitely some of my ones that I love. There's a few on here that I'm sure you aren't super familiar with. Have you ever seen Lars and the Real Girl?
Nope.
Starring Ryan Gosling.
No, I have not. No.
This is such a great film. It's about a guy named Lars, played by Ryan Gosling, who essentially he falls in love with a mannequin and he treats her as real, and everybody in his life has to treat her as real and stuff, because it is real to him. And he's like it's like another film kind of about like mental stuff and like working out your issues and stuff. It's so good. It's like really heartwarming, and Ryan Gosling's amazing in it. The mannequin is great in it. Great performance. Highly recommend it. Super heartwarming film. You should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'll put it on my eternal list.
Yeah.
I have not even heard of The Handmaiden, Chloe one. Blake, have you?
The Handmaiden? I haven't actually. I don't know what that is.
All right, we're both having not heard of it. That's unreal to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead with my first 2-star movie.
Okay, bring it.
It's okay. I will Chloe one. I will add that to my eternal list as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first 2-star movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's the most Dave choice ever, dude.
Come on, 2 spies that are exes that are sent to kill each other, but end up teaming up to kill everybody else.
No, I get it. I agree with you. I think it's a really fun film. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and it's a fun movie. I have nothing bad to say about it. It definitely didn't come to mind for any of these, but yeah, no, I get it.
Neither, until I was scrolling through Google, I was like,
aha,
that one.
I get that. For me, another one I really like is 500 Days of Summer.
Oh
with
yeah,
Zoe
okay.
Deschanel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I
Yeah.
think it's really great. I think the filmmaking is really great. The music in it is top notch,
Yeah.
and it's also I don't know. They spoiler alert for however 20-year-old movie or something. They don't end up together because it doesn't work. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is kind of a douche. Even though we're watching through his perspective.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. And so I think it's really great. It gives, it kind of plays against the manic pixie dream girl trope,
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's a really great film and it's made really well. And I rather enjoy it.
Okay. I mean, I know what it is. I've never seen it, but
It's good.
yeah. So going down my list here, I'm actually just going to do two at once because they're both musical and music related.
Oh yeah. Okay.
A Star is Born and La La Land.
Oh, A Star is Born is great. I didn't have that on mine, but yeah, it is a great film. And I have La La Land on my list as well. But in more, I have kind of a standards category of like classic, romantic films. But that's on there for me too. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I don't really, I've seen it twice, but I still don't fully remember the story. So like, I just remember thinking it was really good and the performance was really great. And I mean, maybe part of it is the whole, Academy debacle from a few years back when they didn't win. And I still think that the presenter was like, no, I'm going to say they won because I'm racist or whatever. I don't know.
Wasn't it like I forget who the presenters were then. I wasn't like I want to say like Faye Dunaway or something, and I forget who. I don't whatever. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't have the time for this. But yeah, no, I feel it. That was a weird night at the Oscars. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it was very strange. But A Star is Born. Listen, I love that movie, and we tried watching that for our show. Actually, little insider information here, guys. We tried watching it for our show and for one of the episodes, and we decided very quickly, nope. We can't.
Nope.
There are too many very serious things in this movie that you can't make fun of like we like to do. But also, that movie fucked me up this time.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to watch it that second time for the show because it was your movie you're covering. And you texted me after, like, we can't do this. I was like, we can't fucking do this.
I can't. It's so sad. I literally cried like 6 times in the movie, and at the end of it, I was just like,
I'm done.
Everything sucks.
Dude, you know what I did when that movie came out? It came out at the same time as Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah.
Which I love. And I was like, I'm gonna do a double feature movie day, but I'm gonna see A Star is Born first.
Oh no.
and then I'll get lunch, and then I'll go to see Bad Times at the El Royale. And I'm like, I'm in the movie, and like the last act is going on, and I'm just crying and crying and crying. And I have to like leave this theater like tear stained and go into a burger place and eat my burger all sad.
Sogging up your bun with your tears.
Yeah, it's like, this is awful.
Just crying into the greasy beef. That's hilarious.
Crying into the greasy beef. The story of Blake. My life is a tragedy.
Fuck. Oh, that's really funny. Oh my God.
No, good choices on your movies though. 2 heart-wrenching films.
Yes.
I got a couple here. Have you ever seen the movie Her?
I have heard of it. I have not watched it. No.
It's really good. Well, Joaquin Phoenix is in it. It's really good. I really, really enjoy it. That's definitely up there for me. Also,
I would just like to point out though, that's the second movie where a man falls in love with something that's not real. That you've picked.
Listen, don't try to fucking psychoanalyze me, Dave. Not on the internet. We'll talk about this after, about how much I need to fucking talk to somebody. Jesus. I have some weirder picks too. We're gonna get into them.
Strap in, guys and gals, and days and thems.
So Her is one. Fuck you. Number two of that is Punch Drunk Love, the Paul Thomas Anderson film starring Adam Sandler.
I have heard of that too. I have not seen it.
It's so good. It's definitely one of my favorite Adam Sandler performances ever. Actually, there's 2 Adam Sandler movies on my list.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
I had one on my list, and I was like, I actually don't really like it that much.
I'll give you a third one here, just since I'm parroting off of that. Is The Wedding Singer? I really like that movie.
That's the one I took off because I was like, oh, that's a good movie, and then I went, oh, you know what? Actually, no. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was a fun movie at the time, but it's not like worth being on my list. I don't think.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's great. I liked it, and I still enjoy it, and it's definitely on my list. And oh yeah, that's a good point, dude. Francis Ha is such a good movie. I forgot about that. Okay, that goes on my list too. I forgot about that completely. Good call, Chloe one. That's such a good movie. Fuck, I want to rewatch that too. Sorry, I'm putting things on my list that I'll never have time to watch.
Yeah, me too.
We'll get there as soon as season 3 is out of production. I'm gonna watch all these movies.
I'm probably gonna immediately start on season 4 just because I have no other lives and whatever.
No, you gotta watch all these fucking movies, dude. We're gonna
I literally have like maybe written down 1% of the movies people have suggested I watch.
That's fair. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Great. So excited.
Fuck. Happy Valentine's Day.
I had Eternal Sunshine. That was on there. But now I'm falling down into my 1-star tier here.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, the highest of the 1 stars, and it's probably going to give me flack, but is Ghost.
I love that movie too. It's so good. It's not on my list, but good call. You got to get a little Swayze in your life. Maybe a little pottery. I don't know, talk to ghosts, maybe some demons. I don't know. It's such a good movie. You're right, dude. I love that movie, and I don't care what anybody says. That movie makes me cry for sure. Oh, yeah, buddy.
The pottery scene.
It's good. It's a classic for a reason. I'm not afraid to admit it.
We are finally opening up our hearts on this show.
I don't know about finally. I embarrass myself every time we fucking start the cameras for this thing, dude. Anyway, I agree with you though. Ghost is really great. But okay.
I saw Dirty Dancing on my scroll through. I've never seen it. I heard it's a good movie, but
it's fine. I don't know. I don't really connect with it. I feel like Baby's kind of like, a baby. She acts like a baby. And I don't know. I don't really connect with it. I'm sorry, man. Like, that's how I feel. Dirty Dancing is fine if you like it. I don't really connect with it. Just saying. I don't. Yikes. I don't really care. Yikes. But First Prize Games, it goes. He knows what's up. Plenty of great Swayze films, and Dirty Dancing's fine. I just don't care for it.
Listen, I prefer the kind of dancing for Swayze to do to be like kicking and punching type.
Dance fighting.
Yeah, dance fighting.
The classic dance film Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yes, that one.
I feel that. I have to get further down in my stranger list. Dave, you have seen this movie, and I think you will agree with me. I have 2 movies that are similar. They're kind of road in love movies. First being Natural Born Killers. Yes. I love that movie. I love that movie. I think it's great. The relationship is not one to look up to, but I think it has a romance to it that is disturbing.
Yes.
But
yes,
very interesting and still heartfelt. Like incredibly heartfelt.
Yes. I don't fully remember it, but yes. I remember seeing it with you. I remember liking it. I just don't remember the story fully. Plague House. I just realized because it reminded me of all the movies that we've seen together. I'm gonna go ahead and say a 4-star tier movie. Out of all of these movies, a movie about love or that is love adjacent or whatever, that to me blows everything else that I've seen and I've talked about here out of the water.
I know what you're gonna say.
Before I continue on, yeah, you do. I know you do. Before I continue on, my 1-star tier, The Favorite.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Actually, I didn't think that's where you're going with it, but you're fucking dead right.
Yes.
That's not even on my list. That's going on my list now.
I just remembered. I was like,
yes.
I fucking saw that movie, 2 or 3 times. I love that movie so much. It is good.
Oh, it is so fucking good, dude. I mean, well, the first time you saw it was the first time I saw it. I hadn't seen it, and we watched it with The Lobster, both Yorgos Lanthimos films. And fucking A, that movie is so good, and I want to rewatch that too. Somebody's posting about how The Lobster today, The Lobster is like an anti-Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah.
Because it also is a love story. And I would probably add that to my list as well, currently. So I'm going to go with The Lobster for me.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good. Good call, Dave.
I'm telling you. What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Interstellar. Because it's a movie about love transcending time and space. But not so much romantic love.
No, it's not romantic love. So yeah, that's why I didn't even think about it.
Okay.
No, but that is a good one. Different kind of love. But also yeah. So what's your next one?
So we got through those. The next one is David Lynch's Wild at Heart, another Nicolas Cage film. It's Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, and Willem Dafoe is in it.
What?
Dude, it's so good. You've never seen... of course you haven't seen Wild at Heart. Why would you? I'm not going to hold that against you. But dude, I'm literally going to see Wild at Heart. They're playing it at the Alamo Drafthouse downtown during February. So okay. I'm gonna go see it in theaters. It's so good. I haven't seen it forever, but Wild at Heart it's another road movie because like I think it's like Nicolas Cage like escapes or like kills somebody, and him and Laura Dern go on the run. They hit the road and go on the run. It's bonkers, dude. Okay, it's so good.
Yeah. Chloe, are you out of points? Is that why you don't have enough?
Oh, shame.
Points?
Shame. Oh. Yeah, we made him so high at first because we assumed everybody was gonna had been saving them up for the last like year, and they're just gonna make us overdose on Neckos. Oh nope, not a hot take at all. Thelma and Louise should be on my list too. That's such a good movie.
All right, listen, Chloe won. Happy Valentine's Day. And I guess we'll go ahead and do it here. Now, the real question is, am I allowed to eat my Kit Kats?
No, you can't answer. No, that's cheating. It's Necco time, not Kit Kat time.
Oh, it's a purple one.
Oh, I got a pink one.
No Kit Kat.
All right.
Yeah, the judge. Cheers. Thanks for your redemption, Dave.
Drink a nice glass of warm milk afterwards.
Oh, mine's not very good. I thought the pink one was going to be like a fruit, but it's like mint. Ew. Oh, God damn it.
Ugh.
Oh.
Chloe Wan, don't you put that into the universe. That's disgusting.
Dude, I went into this so confident. I was like, I got a pink one because I think of like the pink like Starbursts are the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
I never pay attention to what color is what flavor. It's mint. Yeah.
Oh, it's stuck in my teeth.
Everything's terrible.
Gross. This is horrible. Also, I'm really surprised that Chloe Wan, you're just being dirty mouthed and uncensored with that milk there.
Well, some warm milk.
she almost always censors the word milk because she doesn't like it.
The word milk? I mean, I get it. I guess there's certain things that set me off too. Not milk.
There it is. See, like that.
Okay. So I have another few. I don't know if this is directly like a romantic film necessarily. Kind of. Mm-hmm. I would consider it that way. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I had that on my list, but I've only seen it one time. I was like, I don't feel right putting that on my list.
I love the movie. I think it's really great. It's another Edgar Wright directed film. I think it's really fun and visually inventive and interesting and hilarious. So
I remember it being very fun.
Yeah, that's definitely there for me.
Cool. Speaking of fun ones, I have the rapid fire 3 in a row fun ones. Although those are my last ones. So
yeah, hit
maybe
me.
do you have a bunch more? Because I only have these
I have literally 3 more that I was
All
gonna
right, cool.
just
Rapid fire my 3, and they're all fun ones. Okay, 40-year-old virgin, bridesmaids, and forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That is fun. Those are good picks. Mine are not that as in the comedy genre. I have The Princess Bride. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I have When Harry Met Sally, which is a really great film as well. And most classically, I guess, is Casablanca. I love it.
Wow.
I love the film, and it's one of the best screenplays ever written. It's so good. It's a really great film, and I need to revisit that as well. What's that, Jordan?
Forrest Gump.
Oh, that is a good one.
She fucks around on him so hard, and he loves her so much that he's like,
yeah,
I'll do it. It's not going to look the same, but I'll do it.
I mean,
I'm full blown on board. That's a good pick, Jordan.
Yes.
Jenny sucks on everything.
Yes,
yeah, no, I agree. I don't think the relationship is good, but I think the film definitely has a lot of those romantic underpinnings. He's just pining for her the entire time. Dude,
and,
Jenny does sucks. Oh, that is a good one too. That's a great one.
Don't you ever look up in the moon and wonder if I was looking at it too? Tell me that The Notebook had that kind of line. Yeah.
No, it's true. Right. I agree. I think Joe Dirt definitely trumps The Notebook for me in terms of romance films.
Wow.
Really gets to the center of things.
Family member romance films.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for somebody to talk about the line where he says, I think I liked it better when I thought you were my sister.
You're my sister. You're my sister.
Oh, no. That is a funny movie. But yeah, I think that's all. It's all my big ones. I think. Well, that's all the ones I wrote down at least. But you had some good ones, dude. You had some left-hand turns in there.
I'm telling you. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
The last one. I'll say the last one. Titanic.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I have a mixed feeling relationship with the Titanic. It's fine.
I saw that movie in my formative years. We had it on VHS, the dual tape VHS, because
that was a big boy.
because it was long. Clubbion, is there an MCU love movie? Really? I don't think there's any.
I lost
Love and Thunder.
Fact after Dave showed that, or Blake showed that Instagram video with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wait, what?
Remember we watched that Instagram video where Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, paint me like one of your French girls.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Paint my boobies, Jack. Do you like my boobies? Now I don't think it's a love story. I think it's just a porno.
Well, I was gonna say that I literally I watched it in my formative years, and I was like, "Oh my god, they love each other so much, boobs. They love each other so much." I could have let him on the door. Like what? He could have lived.
I think there's been a bunch of people trying to prove that Jack would have lived over the years. I think James Cameron had a part in either dispelling these myths or putting it to the test or something. I don't know. I remember seeing something about it where James Cameron. Oh, he did. Okay,
he said there was room.
Okay, I know he chimed in about this at some point. So, well, fix your movie, James.
Too late now, motherfucker. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got.
That's it. Yeah. No. I think there's a lot of good romance films. The Notebook and A Walk to Remember are not them. But either way, give the episode a listen. We give you our true thoughts, and we butt heads a lot.
We do
in that episode. Well, actually, we even argued after we finished recording.
We did for like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
We argued for almost 2 hours on the phone, off mic, not recorded, about The Notebook.
We sure did.
It's because it's dumb. It's terrible. It's an awful film for awful people.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm gonna out you here, okay? I mean, a lot of people hate The Notebook because like it is very toxic. But it is, yes, Clobes, it is a great film about teen love.
Nope.
And Blake just doesn't know anything about that. So
I don't.
yeah,
I don't. But whatever. I think the early scenes, whatever. I'm not going to get into this with you, dude. The early scenes of them meeting and whatever, having their summer fling, fine, whatever. I don't care. But when they're trying to fight to be together, but nobody knows why they're together, they don't have anything in common, they just fight all the time, I think it's dumb. And then, but I said this in the episode, I think the strongest point of the film is the older people, the elderly storyline in the movie. It's the strongest. But those people, and I didn't say this in the episode, those people don't fucking feel like the people earlier in the movie. They don't feel like the Ryan Gosling characters. They feel like different completely people. No, they're not the same people.
Yep, they sure
they're
are.
Not. I mean, whatever. It might have been written that way. It's not fucking true. I think of that as a deceptive film. I think the elderly story stuff is great and sweet and wholesome, and I love that. But come on, get all the way out of here. Get all the way out of here. Yes, you should. Let's get him on our show. I'm sure he would die, especially after all the threats I made. Some might be felonies, some might not be. But listen, I don't know. He's just whatever, rolling around in his hot tub full of money, which is, I assume, what people who have a lot of money do. And he's enjoying his life, and that's fine. I just think, I think it's not a great standard to hold yourself to. Give me a fucking reason why they should be together. Give me one.
You listen, we've been over it, okay? They fell in love as kids.
You can't even give me a reason why they should be together. Thank you, Dave. You just proved my point.
They fell in love as kids. They broke up and didn't have their closure, and then they got back together as quasi kids because they're early 20s still. And
adults, full-blown adults.
No, 24-year-olds don't have any.
You are a full-blown adult, Dave, at 24 and 25. This isn't like 18, 19 range.
Decisions.
I don't give a shit. They're full-blown adults. And we are not told a single time why they should be together.
We see it all throughout the first quarter of the movie.
Because they eat ice cream together and ride bikes and swim in a lake? Wow.
Because they fell in love. They fell in love.
I should be with so many women now.
You cannot explain teenage love. You can't explain it.
Okay, again, you don't have to explain it, but why come back to it?
Because you can't explain it.
No offense to definitely all the girls I dated when I was younger, definitely listening to the stream right now, but I would not ever want to date any of them ever again. No, it's because I was a child.
But you didn't love them.
Okay, but again, give me a reason. Give me a fucking reason why they should be together. That's all I'm going to say.
That's not how love works.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's not how love works.
Okay. Why? Just like intrinsically drawn to each other and decide to stay together for a lifetime, even though they have nothing in common, they don't have the same values, and they fight all the time. I don't know why. We just got to stay together. I think that's an excuse to stay in a toxic relationship and then will each other to death.
Well, obviously it wasn't toxic because they ended up happy and they had kids and grandkids and everything was fine.
Oh, just because you have kids and grandkids doesn't mean you were happy.
They looked happy.
Doubt it.
She doesn't remember if she was happy.
When she remembers.
Fuck off.
They should have been hit by that car when they laid in the street at the beginning.
That's probably what happened.
This is all just a fever dream of like a near-death experience.
Yeah. Coma dream. That's all that is.
Anyway, terrible film that I hate a lot. They don't really have the same values. They want somewhere to live. Okay.
Yes. Everyone makes a good point.
They both enjoy art. Kind of.
Yeah.
They both enjoy geese, obviously.
They both enjoy getting caught in the rain.
Pina coladas as well.
There we go.
Dude, it's just I don't get it. I don't get it and never will. And you can have your teenage love story or whatever the fuck. I don't care. It affects me in zero ways except for the fact that I'm mad at you. And I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna move on with my life because
that's a normal thing for us.
It's true. We have other films to talk about. We have two films to talk about. We're talking about Akira from 1998 and Ghost in the Shell from 1995. Dave.
Yes.
These are both animes, and I don't know anything about anime. I've never really seen any animes, but do you have a history with anime films?
Yes and no. Okay, yes, I've watched every Dragon Ball Z movie and Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball, because there's Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, which we don't talk about because it's not canon, and Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, I don't know any of these things. So
all you need is Dragon Ball Z and Super. And I've seen every Z and Super movie. I've never seen any of the Dragon Ball movies because it was like, to me, it was all prequels and I don't care.
Got it.
I've seen all those movies. I loved all those movies. I loved all of the series for Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. I have only ever seen outside of that One Punch Man and nothing else. So I have seen 2 animes ever.
Okay, got it. I have seen maybe 2 episodes of Sailor Moon when I was a kid on television by accident, and I didn't know anything about it. I don't know anything, and so this was a viewer requested episode, essentially a viewer requested stream that we talk about these 2 movies. Our friend Josh Will Pizzas, who is probably. Well, he's not lonely tonight because he has a wife and child.
He's probably on a Valentine's date.
He's getting some love from that, and I'm with you, Dave. I love you. You're my Valentine, for sure. I hope you know that it is Valentine's Day
too, buddy.
I thank you. I mean that.
Hetero life mates,
and yep. I mean, we're boyfriends, so
it's my boy. It's my friend. It's my boyfriend. No. That's not. We're boys. Yeah. Friends. Yeah. Boyfriends. No, goddamn.
I just call you my boyfriend. So anyway, our relationship is very sketchy.
Yeah, we fight a lot. And yet we stay together. Isn't it funny how that works?
Can I Neko time my ass out of the stream?
You want Neko time? All right, cool.
No, please don't. So here's the thing. I was. You shut your mouth, Obi-Wan. So I was looking forward to these movies, though, specifically Akira, because I've heard a lot about these movies over the years, and Josh has gone on and on about them, and he's been wanting us to watch these forever, and I've wanted to make the time to watch it, and I never did, and so this is my excuse to dive into these. And Akira is okay. We're gonna get into all these things because there's so many things to talk about, I think, and I think they are really great films. So I guess we should just watch the trailer for 1988 Akira, and then we'll get into it.
Let's do it.
Tokyo is about to explode.
Oh no.
Streamline Pictures presents a state-of-the-art adventure. Akira.
I agree with that. There's so much to this movie, dude. Also plenty of nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Akira. So Dave,
don't ask me. I don't know.
You don't know the story of Akira?
I got done with this movie and I was like, the fuck did I just watch?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let me lay it out for you. So we got biker gangs. We got New Tokyo. It's 2019, the future landscape of 2019.
Super.
Basically,
31 years. Cool.
Old Tokyo has blown up and they rebuilt a new Tokyo rather. So after Tetsu, the member of a motorcycle gang, he discovers he has psychic abilities and he turns into a rampaging psychopath that threatens to destroy New Tokyo.
Yes.
That's baseline what happens.
I gathered that much.
Okay.
But then towards the end, I'm like, huh? What? What are we doing? What's happening? Is it a giant tumor, baby?
There's a lot going on. So essentially this has to do with the psychic ability, a lot of things. This movie has a lot of themes that is hard to glean in its completeness through one viewing. And I found that out very quickly because I was watching and I was like taking notes on stuff. And then I looked up and I was like, wait, what are we doing? Wait, where are we at? And I like rewind a little bit. Because like you have to watch like every frame of this movie, I feel like. So we are introduced to the motorcycle gang, right? I forget their name. It's something like pill related.
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
I forget what it is. Whatever. There's like riots and stuff going on in New Tokyo, and there's a rival gang that they're messing with, and they get into an accident, and they run into what are called espers, these psychic children. One specifically who has escaped from a lab. The government's keeping these psychic children under wraps, basically in this hospital. And one of the espers, his name is Takashi, who looks like Zombie Jonathan, by the way.
I was gonna say.
I like turtles. That's all I thought when I saw his face.
That's funny. I was like, is he old or is he a kid? Is he old? I don't know. I can't tell.
Really dehydrated. Like the way I like my fruit.
Yeah.
That boy looks like I like my snacks. Dehydrated and full of power.
There you go.
Terrible. But essentially after this accident, Tetsu is put in a hospital and starts having these nightmares, these like psychic vision, like nightmares. Essentially, it's found out that he has like big psychic powers. And so those powers start growing, Dave. And basically he like kind of escapes and he's having these visions that like his like organs are falling out of his body and like the teddy bears and stuff are like coming to life. This is straight up nightmare fuel. This fucked me up. This movie definitely was a lot to absorb visually.
Oh yeah, visually I thought this was a very cool movie. I found it very hard to keep up with.
I mean, that's fair. So there's the animation. I do want to talk about the animation because it is something I really, 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 really liked so much about this film because, you know, lots of animated films, there's things going on and they're supposed to be heightened, you know?
Yes.
This feels more expressive than heightened, I think. Because obviously there's like supernatural things going on, but it's not like a cartoon animation. Things are like, whoa, you know, it's very serious. It's a very serious story. And there's a lot of explosions. There's a lot of glass falling, lots of gore, intense gore. And I think the animation that I don't know too much about the animation process, but the amount of work that had to have gone into this film blows my fucking mind.
Now, I could be wrong, but I think in the 80s, every single frame had to be drawn.
Well, so there's something called tweening or in-betweening. And it's essentially a process of like, so no, I guess it's not every single cell has to be animated. It's various layers and stuff. And then there's people who interpolate those major motions because you have keyframes and those things. So it's not the 1920s version of like every single thing you see on screen has to be done.
Yeah.
But it's 2D animation. It's classic animation.
Right.
And it looks I just can't even imagine the grueling process to put this thing together.
Well, I know that even still to this day, everything is done by hand. And we know that because Dragon Ball Z is notorious. I think it's Dragon Ball Super too, but especially in Dragon Ball Z, is notorious for you clearly being able to tell when it was somebody's off day. And
really?
And it's the fill-in guy was doing the drawing because it doesn't even look remotely close.
Oh, really?
Literally, from one episode to the next, when it's like, last time on Dragon Ball Z, and they show the animation, and it's like, cool. And it's the scenes from the last episode, and it starts up, and the dude sitting there, the first dude we just saw with his perfectly like drawn hair and clothes, and now his hair it's like the other way for some reason, and instead of one bang, he's got two, and it's like, what happened?
What happened? Well, so
I tell you,
that's the thing too. Like that's in my head. I don't want this to sound like I'm discounting all of anime, but in my head, anime is I think of like, because I know what Dragon Ball Z is and stuff like that, is like cheap, quick animation, and like lots of those sequences where it's definitely just the one character making the same expression as like things kind of go by in the background or whatever. Like lots of those things just to like get through the story. Basically, only animating stuff that needs to be animated right then and there. And so I was nervous about that going in because that stuff kind of throws me off. I don't feel like there was any of that in Akira at all. This was a very deftly and detailed, one of the most detailed animated films I've ever seen for sure.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
It's just wild. So it drew me in. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really know anything about the story or where it was going. But dude, there's mystery, there's action, there's sci-fi, there's horror. I don't know. Jokes. I think this movie, there's jokes. I think this movie has so much to offer that I wasn't really prepared to take in. I need to rewatch this and need to rewatch it soon.
I feel like I have to rewatch it just so I can be like, okay, let's really watch this movie now.
Oh yeah, because you can't have a Dave score on this. Otherwise, I feel like you would miss a tremendous amount of things.
Well, it was fucking dubbed. Or, I'm sorry, subtitled. So like I couldn't.
Good.
If I wanted to.
I mean, honestly,
wanted
good.
To. I wanted to be on my phone because I was like, this movie sucks.
Really?
Like it was. I was not invested in the story at all. Like
you thought Akira sucked?
I did. I mean, it was cool at first, but then it just like it to me dragged.
What?
Yeah, I did not enjoy it.
Wow, that's astounding because
Wendy,
what's up? We'll get into this with Ghost in the Shell because we watched a dubbed version for that. But dude, I can't imagine watching the subs version of this or the dubbed version of this rather, because this is such an immersive film. I don't know. There's so much stuff like the music. Also, we didn't even touch on yet. The music is amazing in this film.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'll give them.
I love the music, how you hate this movie?
Hate's a strong word.
Blows my gourd.
Hate's a strong word. I just don't understand why Pizzas wanted us to watch it so bad.
Dude, it's like probably 20 minutes in this movie, I was like, oh, dude, I get it. I am on board. And I was not skeptical, but I had my reservations because, like, I don't know, sometimes animation doesn't hit for me. I have nothing against it, but sometimes it's hard for me to invest myself. And this thing sucked me right in. And it was like bedtime for me. And I was like, I'm here. I'm ready. And but there's so much stuff to it. So yeah. Yeah, you missed Hawk Rules, you missed out on our favorite romantic movies section. You have to give that a rewind. It's a trip.
There's some good ones in there.
But I have to say there's a lot of things in this movie that obviously, I think it was obviously inspired visually at times by Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner. and you can see that like the building design and some of the shots and stuff in it. But you've seen Stranger Things. I feel like Stranger Things, like 11 and those kids and stuff, I think feels like a direct interpretation of what we see here.
I've only seen season 1, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, like then you've seen enough to know like the character of 11.
Yeah.
She's a psychic child who can destroy things, and she's kept in the lab for everybody's safety. But when she gets out, she blows people up almost in the exact same way that Tetsu does.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
You are so not sold. You're just,
No, I just did not like this movie.
Okay.
It's like, it's whatever. Maybe I'll have to watch it again, and then maybe I'll be blown away by it. But I was just like, okay.
I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I whatever. Not to jump the gun. I guess I don't have like since you don't really have much to say about it, so I don't want to just like talk over and over and over again about all these things. But I guess I'll go through all the things that I liked. And
yeah, well, tell me what you liked about it, because I have a couple of things I liked, but not enough to really like converse fully about it. I mean, I'll give you mine, and then you can go into yours. How about that?
Okay, deal. Yeah.
I liked the fact that this movie was like, hey, don't bully people because they're gonna get mad at you, and when they have their psychic powers, what are you gonna do?
They're gonna get psychic powers and explode you from the inside out.
Right.
Gonna microwave your insides.
I liked how the one character I can't remember his name was like, but I wouldn't say boyfriend necessarily because I don't want to jump the gun, and she has never accepted his advances at all at this point.
Yeah, that's Canada.
Oh,
the friend, right?
Canada, yeah,
with the cool motorcycle.
Yeah, is it Canada that has the motorcycle?
Yeah,
the cool one.
Because Tetsu stole it to go joyriding when he got out of the hospital, and then had an episode, where he's like envisioning all his organs falling out of his body.
That's right. I do remember that scene. I'm like,
because I was like, there's so many horrifying things about this movie. So what was another thing you enjoyed?
I enjoyed. Whoop, donking my mic. I enjoyed like the cool like motorcycle parts of that. I thought that was pretty fun, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the technology they always have in these anime movies. Yeah. They're very ambitious of technology. I liked how there was a giant tumor baby thing, and I was like,
that was one of my likes too. So for context here, Tetsu, he gets his psychic abilities, but it starts taking him over, right, Dave?
Yes.
Like he can't control it. So him not being able to control it, by the way, the animation of like him rebuilding his own arm after it gets fucking ripped off, he goes up into space and kills a satellite. And then he comes down and he like repairs his arm and like
with like metal.
With metal and stuff, but like also his like veins and the technology and stuff start taking over the things around him. He can't control his power, and so it like morphs him into this like crazy wild like Cronenberg tumor thing that like grows and like absorbs and kills his girlfriend. Yeah, squishes her to death, and then like doesn't kill his friend Canada, and like it's crazy. And so the other Espers, the other psychic children, like. Ooh, they float in and they're like, we gotta do something. Yeah. And I'm like, you fucking think this thing's expanding to the size of the sun? And it literally it really messed me up. But the thing on top of that I really loved is that it actually is really emotional. There's like such a push-pull of emotions because Tetsu is like kind of an outcast a little bit, trying to find his place in life, and is given this power essentially, which it's unclear if he had it before or if he gained it by wrecking his motorcycle into Takashi. I don't know if he had the powers before.
You're asking the wrong guy here.
I know. I need to get Josh in here. Either way, it was. I don't know. It's wild. I think there's a lot of emotional things in this movie that really captured me. What else did you like?
That was it.
No fucking way.
I liked when it ended.
Get out of here, dude. This is a 2-hour and like 4-minute movie. For me, this movie moved like a lot. Like the pacing of it, I think it held me. And and it kept going, dude.
I'm not saying you're wrong. It just didn't hold me. It didn't. I couldn't. I tried. But I do want to ask.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened at the end? Because I swear to God, I blinked and all of a sudden Tetsu's just gone. I was like, wait, what the fuck happened?
Well, so his abilities become too much and he morphs into like a crazy tumor guy. And he essentially absorbs things, and Akira comes back. His like parts that are deconstructed from the government, they're found, and through like the espers and stuff, they like in the power, I don't know how it happens from a technical standpoint, Akira comes back to life with all these parts combined to essentially cancel out Tetsu. The way I understood it is that Akira takes out Tetsu because Tetsu can't like control it, and they kind of they explode each other. And the espers went in and saved Canada. They pulled him out so he could reunite with his other friends, which I kind of don't know because that guy kind of sucks. And that's something that I don't know if he learned his lesson. I don't know if I fully got that, but
I don't know. Wendy, it's turtles.
Turtles. It works.
Turtles.
It all works.
Oh,
I love this, Dave. So what are your, I mean, besides some of the things you've already talked about, do you have any other specific like dislikes for this thing?
Specific. Oh, again, it's not that I disliked it. It's just like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's like, I don't get why it's anybody's like, I don't think it's Josh's favorite movie, but I don't get why he's so gung-ho about it. He built it up so high that I was like, okay.
I get it. I get it. And you know me, I oversell myself. Sometimes I get pulled into some hype on things, but dude, I tell you what, I loved this movie and I didn't know what to expect. It sucked me in. And the only dislike I really have for it is that I need to rewatch it again to absorb everything. But for me, I love this thing from beginning to end, and I highly recommend it. Anybody who's into like sci-fi or horror, even if you don't watch anime or know anything about it, I didn't. And I think if you like those themes and like those other genres, you can really get into this. It's definitely like a cyberpunk, like not post-apocalypse, but rebuilding kind of times. It's like, I don't know, lots of cultural upheaval. So much stuff going on.
I did think it was kind of funny how all of this cultural upheaval is because of the tax code.
It's true. It's true, man, because like they don't know what they're doing, and they show like the bits of the government. They're like, we don't know, we just tried it out and it didn't fucking work, and now people are mad at us. We said relax, we're working on it, and they're mad. It's like, well, yeah.
They got no patience, these guys.
Yeah. They got no patience when we're stealing all their money.
That's so strange that they don't have any patience.
Yeah, but that's a great point though that you bring up. There's a lot of big social themes down like from the societal level, but as well as the personal and like emotional level. And that's what I think is so great about, because there's top to bottom, there's the big, there's the small, there's the horror, there's the sci-fi, there's the future, there's the what is the meaning of things, there's the power within. There's 1,000 themes. It's so good. So I found a new film that I will be preaching the gospel of once I watch it again and probably understand it more, and hopefully don't mispronounce things.
Oh Lord, I will definitely try and watch it again, I guess, at some point.
If you want, I think it's great. I will definitely be watching this again. So, Jordan, have you ever seen Akira? Have you ever seen Ghost in the Shell? That's a big yes.
Super duper. I would like to get into Ghost in the Shell if you're ready.
Yeah, so I assume this is a not recommend for you for Akira?
I don't. It's not a unrecommend, but it's not a recommend either. It's just like, I don't know, sure.
Okay, it's a whatever from Dave.
Whatever from Dave. Okay. I mean, if somebody has it on, don't like leave the room.
Don't throw a fit. Don't lose your friends over it.
Yeah, if your friend wants to watch it with them, but don't seek it out, I don't think.
I think you should seek this out and maybe lose a friend over it. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Akira or Ghost in the Shell.
I didn't watch either. They both Seemed long.
No.
One was half the time of the other.
Yeah, Akira's longer, but I think, and we'll get into this, Ghost in the Shell felt longer. But if you're ready, I'm ready for 1995's Ghost in the Shell.
Let's do it, man.
All right, let's watch that trailer. Whenever we get a second. Yeah, there we go. Ow.
逮捕しても無駄だ。何もあかんぞ。ハク？自分の名前も知らねえ野郎が。ゴーストのない人形は悲しいもんだぜ。
Lionsgate.
I think this is a re-release trailer.
視覚の鋭敏化、運動能力や反射の飛躍的な向上。文句を言う筋合いじゃないわ。
疑似体験ってどういうことです？
奥さんも子供も嫌しない。
全部偽物の記憶で夢のようなものなんです。あなたは何者かに利用されて政府関係者にゴーストハックを仕掛けてたんですよ。
こいつは電脳犯罪史上最もユニークと評されたハッカー。人形使い。
Also, lots of killer hairstyles in this.
私は情報の海で発生した生命体だ。ここにこうしているのは私自身の意志。バカだ。
あの擬態。
Oh, that's what it's for.
くだらねえ。自分のゴーストが信じられないのか？
私みたいな完全に擬態化したサイボーグなら誰でも考える。
This would be interesting to see in IMAX.
もし
I'm
か
not
した
gonna
ら自
lie.
分はとっくの昔に死んじゃってて。
Sure.
あの擬態の中にいるのが何なのか、どうしても確かめなくちゃならないの。我ら鏡を手見るごとく、見るところおぼろない。
I didn't understand a word they said.
It's almost like they weren't even speaking English.
And you can't read, so you're really
Screwed.
at a
Jordan got
loss.
screwed
Yeah.
on that one.
So Dave, can you tell me what the story of Ghost in the Shell is? And Hawk Rules, it is kind of like an animated Terminator. In a way, it kind of is.
Sort of vaguely.
Yeah, I'll give you my opinion on what it actually feels like a little bit closer to some more cultural things that you definitely know about, but we'll get into it. But for now, Dave, what's the story of Ghost in the Shell?
Okay, so I can actually tell you this one. Set in the future at some point. I don't fucking remember how far in the future, but basically
2029.
There we go. 2029. They thought this was going to happen in 35 years. Okay, sweet.
This is not a prediction movie, my friend. Neither was Akira.
But I'm not saying prediction, but they thought it would only take like 35 years is a good time to come up with this. Anyway, so basically what happens is in 35 years, humanity comes up with all of society being one of two things. Androids.
Yep.
Or people who can have their brains hacked.
Yeah, like essentially cyborgs. And the people's consciousness referred to as ghosts, and shells being people's bodies. Like the bodies. Yeah,
They're meat suits. Yeah, so
meats. Not fully meat. Some of the body parts are engineered from like
right.
Was it like Megatech or whatever makes?
So they're either fully engineered or partly engineered. But basically, humans have evolved into part machine essentially, and there's a hacker that is going in and trying to do something and is taking over people's and androids' brains and stuff, and then they call him the puppet master. Call it the puppet master because it's got no gender. And there's one badass who she is like incredible, and she's like the badass protagonist, and she wants to know what this puppet master is.
This is Major Kusanagi is her name.
Major. I forgot Kusanagi because the guy Bato only referred to as Major most of the time.
Yeah, I know. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember exactly because I just called her Major in all my notes.
Yeah.
But this this is a wild movie. This is it came out 7 years after Akira. And I think if we're getting into likes here, I think the animation, again, like with Akira, is great.
Yes, that we can agree on.
I think I kind of like Akira's animation a little better, but I don't think there's anything bad about this. I think there's a lot of like really great looks of like when Major patches into because there's like those connectors, there's ports on the back of her head that she can connect into like the internet essentially and like different computers, which is like very reminiscent of like the Matrix. There's a lot of things that the Matrix pulled from this movie.
Yes.
Almost direct scenes. There's also a scene where Major's running from the robot trying to kill her with the guns and like past the pillars, and the pillars are getting destroyed and stuff. Yeah. Lots of direct references in the Matrix to this film.
Yes. This film, I forgot to mention. Yeah, absolutely. But this film, I forgot to mention. It should have been renamed Android Nipples, the movie.
Oh, I didn't think about that, but I should have known you would have gotten stuck on that point.
I don't understand why. What was the point?
I don't know. Maybe
First
it's a cultural
what was the point
thing
of all the boobs? There was
I don't know.
In every angle that they had, and every angle was like, oh, that's a cool angle. They're like, let's put some titty in it. Like
the guy giving notes is like, yeah, no, this is all great. I'm gonna need 50% more titties. Turn it up, baby. Lots of lonely gentlemen watching this stuff.
Yes. So I like the animation. I can agree on that for sure.
Well, okay. Can we also talk about, before we move on from animation, there's a thing that Major uses to zip around town and stay hidden. It's called thermoptics. Yes. It's like an invisibility kind of cloak almost that she can like stay like invisible. Kevin Bacon should be involved, but no.
He could be involved in the reboot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. That happened. There's an American remake. I guess we should get this out of the way. From a few years ago, starring Scarlett Johansson.
I don't doubt that for a hot second.
I think that is true. Anyway, it was not received very well. But I don't know. And actually, to that point, not to dive off this, I don't see Akira or this being able to be made into a live action film well. I don't see it translating that well, personally. Akira especially, but this one, I can see now why there was backlash. Even though I haven't seen the American film, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't. I'll go even further. I will say that I don't think that there could be a live action done of this movie done well, and I don't think that this movie was done well either.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, listen, I have some dislikes. I have more dislikes for this film than I did with Akira. But before we hop into the deep end of our dislikes here, like I said in the opening, we watched the dubbed version, unfortunately, not the subbed version. That has something to do with some of my dislikes later. But what were some of your likes on though? Because this is there's a lot of stuff to like.
I do like some of the existential questions.
Totally.
The whole, is technology going to take us over and too much thing. It's a half like. I'll give it a half like, because I have a dislike about it too.
Okay.
But I like that. I like the badass character, Major. I like her. I like the world in it.
Okay.
I think this one, I'm gonna have to be honest with you. The Akira, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
This one I actively dislike.
Okay. Well, you ran through all your things, and there's lots of stuff I have to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
With your points, but you kind of blew through all yours, so I didn't respond. But to go back to themes, there's a lot of things to discuss. What is like what is consciousness? What determines consciousness? What is realness? How do you know if you're a real person? And this is 1995. This is well before the internet was so pervasive, because we have a lot. I feel like we have a lot of those things now. We have a lot of those themes being addressed now in film and media now, because AI and all the things. What is real art? A lot of those questions are being asked now, and this is 1995. And so it probably seemed like a major sci-fi concept, but to your point, like 35 years in the future, this is what it's going to be like. Kind of. Thematically, we're definitely wrestling with some of these things now.
Thematically, yes, but not like...
Well, obviously not the literal, but I don't think it's supposed to be literal, like a literal guessing, like this is what's going to happen. But I think a lot of those things are interesting questions. I think there's a lot of iconic imagery as well in this film. Like there's so many shots that, like, as I was watching this movie, I'm like, I know what that is. I've seen that before. Like, I'd never seen the movie, but I've seen a lot of images from this film.
There were a lot of images in this film. A lot of images that did not need to be there.
Okay. Well, I guess whatever. Go on. Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, there's a lot of inspiration, obviously from other films. It inspired a lot of things. If you've ever read, which I know you didn't read the book, William Gibson's cyberpunk novel, Neuromancer, kind of kickstarted a lot of these things. Kind of inspired Blade Runner, inspired a lot of things, and this definitely takes a lot of inspiration there. And I don't know. I think it takes a lot of really heady concepts and puts them into an understandable visual format, which I really liked, like patching into the network and stuff. Like up until this point, like people don't know what that means or even looks like in 1995.
Right.
But here it gives you a pretty clear visual representation of where you are and what's going on. And Hackers, not quite. What year did Hackers come out, actually? Because we're talking about Hackers a lot.
Yeah, I was mentioning it a lot.
It did come out the same year. It came out in 1995.
Okay.
But obviously, Hackers definitely has an interesting take on the internet. I think this is a more interesting take because it doesn't focus so much on the technology. It shows it to you, but doesn't try to explain it to you in an overzealous fashion, like Hackers.
Right. I just the rest of what I have is dislikes. So if you have more likes, I would love to hear them.
I mean, I'm just kind of talking to myself at this point, so we just hop into dislikes.
Just talking to yourself?
Yeah, because like talking, and you're like, all right.
It's just because like I want to talk, but like I want to talk about why I dislike the things that you like.
Okay,
and I feel it's okay. Like I feel like
here's your chance.
All right. So number one, the visuals. This movie should have been 35 minutes long, because all of these visuals where it's like we're world building, sure, but we don't spend any time in the fucking world. We never spend any time in the world. So it's like, what was the point of showing us all this? And so they spend all this time showing us this world just to then have to be like, okay, now let's cram a bunch of exposition into the next couple of scenes.
That actually is something that is on my dislike list. There's an incredible amount of exposition. And like I said, we watched the dubbed version, and holy shit, the voice acting for this is bad in the dubbed version. It's really embarrassingly bad. And I know it wasn't the intent, and so I tried to kind of look past it, but man, it is just very, very explainy and not in an artful way.
No, but also I don't even see like how voice acting could have saved that, to be honest with you, because
I absolutely do.
Because it was literally like, here's all these artsy scenes that looked great.
Yeah,
they looked great. It was a nice like vibe going on from it. But then the next scene was like, here's everything that's happening. I don't see how you can make that work when you could have just taken those scenes where you're not doing anything and used them to help explain the story.
No, I agree with you. I fully agree with you. I think there's some translation stuff going on I think there's terrible voice acting, but yeah, there's like certain scenes, and this is what I was saying when I said Akira moves faster. This film is only an hour and 22 minutes, and it felt like it went on for like 2 hours because we get these great scenes, these really great action scenes, and these really artsy shots and stuff, and then we're just talking about stuff very directly. Like, this is what happens. This is like me, and this is how all these things work. And it's just people talking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're in an animated format. Use it.
Yes, exactly. They did, but didn't at the same time. It's
no, I fully agree.
They had all these great scenes, and again, like we never spend any time in the world that they built for us.
Yeah, I understand that. There was a couple shots. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple shots in this film that I looked and I was like, this. It actually looked like a photograph, like some of those like dreary like city shots. I was like, is that actually
beautiful?
Gorgeous,
beautiful,
absolutely gorgeous. And so, yeah, but that was the major thing was just the exposition dumps and the pacing of this film. It just was like, whoa, we're really working ourselves into a groove, and then let me tell you what's going on.
Right, and that's the thing is like, those extra scenes didn't feel like we were working ourselves into a groove. It just felt like, hey, here's some scenery to look at while we burn some runtime.
I think it gave some atmosphere. I understand. I understand it. And that's where I also think that Akira is strong. And even though you disliked it because you didn't know what was going on, for me, I think the film trusts its audience. Like, I was interested enough to where I kept up, but I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, hey, here's some stuff, and then just let me tell you exactly how everything works, as opposed to showing it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you're kind of getting two different things, and you find these things not enough in the middle to hit your likes. Whereas, I don't know, I think Akira really, really trusts its audience, and this does not.
No, but I don't think it's that they don't trust their audience. I just think that they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Like, they didn't know how to tell a coherent story without just literally telling it to us.
And here's the thing, actually, now that you're talking about it, that's something that came to my head. There, like I said, there's a lot of heady concepts in this.
Yeah.
At the time, in 1995, is it better to just explain that to people? Because people don't, even in 1995, people don't really know too much about what the internet is or what these things are, like androids and cyborgs, unless you're like a hardcore sci-fi nerd, you know?
No, I mean, I get that, but like, they explained everything. Every move they were going to make, everything that happened was spoken to us.
I'm not saying that is not true. I agree with you, and I think it could definitely have been pared down. But what I'm trying to think of is, in context of the time that this film came out, is that the better move of just fucking telling us at some points what's going on, as opposed to trying to visually explain?
When you say it like that, and yes, some of it, yes, some of the technology stuff, absolutely.
Yeah,
you don't get it, tell us.
Right.
In 95, but the rest of it, no.
No, I agree.
Show us. Like, seriously, you spent 30 minutes of this movie just showing us scenery that gives us a vibe.
Yeah, it's atmosphere, but you're right. The plot stuff should have just been shown. It should have just been shown to us, because there's some great stuff. There's some really gory things. There's some great action sequences. Again, like, I can't rave enough about the animation. It's so good and very expressive, and there's just a lot going on, and I want to live more in that world with things going on, as opposed to things just being fucking told to me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I could have really enjoyed this movie if it was just more movie and less like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what's happening now. This is what just happened. Here's what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And Sassy Hawk, to your point, actually, I would love to talk about that. I would absolutely love to talk about that. Any of the Studio Ghibli films.
Oh, okay.
I would love to do that. That's a really great idea, actually. We should definitely make an episode of that.
Sure. I don't even know what Studio Ghibli is.
Oh, we could watch Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke, and yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to do that. That's a great suggestion. Thank you, Sassy Honk.
Sure.
But yeah, and the thing too, I really do like how. Oh, okay. Oh, My Neighbor Totoro. Yeah. Okay, Totoro. Sorry. These are good, Dave. I don't know how you would feel about this.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm either gonna hate it or surprise you.
That's a good point. I'm definitely putting those on my list. We got to put those for a future stream.
Sure.
Good suggestion. We take all those.
Yes, we do.
But what I do enjoy though at the end of Ghost in the Shell, so the hacker, right, the puppet master,
yes,
he blends his ghost essentially with Major's, and they become a new entity.
Yes.
And I like that. And her partner helps get them a body. So they essentially share a spirit of consciousness within a new body and become a totally different being. And I think there's a lot of great metaphor in that. Yeah. Even though it's a lot of stuff is told to us, I think there's a lot of metaphor things that we can dive into and thematic things that we can dive into that make that ending pretty good for me. I really like where it went.
I think there was an opinion about this that I agreed with. It's that I want to see that movie where this movie ended. I want to see that movie where it starts, and the backstory of how they got to this point could have just been peppered in throughout that movie, so we can understand. Or even if you're not adept enough at doing that story, having this Ghost in the Shell be the first 10 minutes of the movie, because you could easily have made this movie only 10 minutes long, and then have an actual movie moving forward about the merged ghosts inside of this new shell.
I think you have a great point here, because I think this film could be at least the first act, if not through the middle of a different film, where at like the turning point in the middle is them becoming a new sentient being, and then we see what happens there. The fallout from two ghosts essentially merging into one new being in a new body. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I don't know. I think there's multiple sequels of this film. I don't know where they go. I don't know anything about them. So
yeah, that was asked. Is there a sequel to this? I'm like, I know there is. I saw it when I Googled it, but I don't know what it's about. Okay. I don't know anything about them. I think that would have been a really good movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'd be interested in that. And for me, this is my first real dip into anime, and I want to watch more. My friend Sarah really loves anime. I was telling her that I was gonna do this episode and this stream, and she's like, "Oh, what you should talk about this, and you should watch this and this, and it's like kind of like Akira and does this," and I'm like, "Wow, lots of stuff." And having been introduced to like this stuff, which I do like, and especially Akira, I want to watch more. How about you?
I'm realizing that I like a very certain kind of anime, and it's superpower animes. It's like super being animes. I like that.
Okay.
I'm not sold on either of these movies with like I know Akira obviously like it has the guy, Tetsuo has superpowers, and is not superpowers necessarily, but like psychic powers, and there's like craziness that happens, but I prefer the animes like One Punch Man and Dragon Ball Z, where it's just you're just watching these super powered beings and teams and stuff and like fighting, and that's cool to me for anime. I'm not just I don't know. I would have to be forced to watch more to find something I think I would really enjoy.
Okay, that's fair. I want to seek out more of this stuff. I really like the dark aspects of all these, and there was like just a slight disconnect. Yeah, sassy dog.
I did not watch Sailor Moon only because it came on either before or after Dragon Ball Z as a kid. and like it would start to come on, and I would stop paying attention because I was here for Dragon Ball Z. Whatever.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned this at the top before we started talking about these two movies, is that the only anime I'd really ever been exposed to where it was a few episodes of Sailor Moon as a kid. I was like, oh, this is cool. It looks different than anything I'm used to, and their mouths don't match what they're saying, but fine.
That's the one thing I do like about the Dragon Ball Z dub is that the mouths match enough. They're able to find a way to make the mouths match enough that you're not like pulled out. That
stuff honestly doesn't bother me. It bothers me in no way. I would rather see the sub version, of course, but it doesn't bother me as long as there's good voice actors. That dub, dude, the dub for Ghost in the Shell is so fucking bad. Yeah. It took a lot for me to get through that.
I will say, as a kid, I hated the subtitled version of Dragon Ball Z, and I only like the dub version. But as an adult, I'm like, no, so much better subbed.
When you're a kid. Yeah, when you're a kid too, it's like hard to read that fast and comprehend as well, and like watch what's going on. It's hard to do both. I get that. I hated subtitles when I was a kid. Who would like them, honestly, when you're like you're 8 and you can barely fucking read and you're like, what? No, what? Just tell me in English, dude. So I don't know. I'm definitely going to seek out more of this stuff. I really am. I like the really dark stuff.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little shocked by that. I thought you were going to be like, I don't get it. I thought you were going to be me.
I was not skeptical, but I'm like, I don't know how much I'm really going to connect to this stuff. I've never really seen it. I don't really care. But it got me big time. It really, really got me. I'm a fan.
I'm going to say I absolutely can full-heartedly believe that you would not like Dragon Ball Z.
I believe that. Yeah, it doesn't sound like something I'm interested in. Like the concepts of both of these, I think, are interesting, removed from the anime, context, I guess.
Right.
And so for that, I think the animation stuff pushed these themes and things forward for me enough to where, like, I want to see more. I want to watch Akira again for sure. And Ghost in the Shell, maybe we'll see. Maybe if I can find a non-dubbed version just to see what it's actually like. Guys, without hearing that awful. Thanks, Jordan. But
I think I'm never gonna watch Ghost in the Shell again because it was just like I feel like if you could present to me a version without all those like cutscenes, with it's just scenery, I might watch it again. If it was subbed, I might watch the sub version of that. But I'm not gonna spend an hour and 20 minutes, which actually the credits start rolling, the end credits start rolling at like 1:18, and then the opening credits stop at like 5 minutes. So technically this movie's only like an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it feels longer. It's a weirdly paced, it's a really weirdly paced movie.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes of credits, about 35 minutes of random scenery scenes, and about 45 minutes of boobs.
Yeah, summed it up well. For me, I would say this is a recommend, but watch the subs version, but know what you're getting into. If this was a longer film, if this was a 2-hour film, I would say nah, but I do recommend this if you watch a different version.
See, it's difficult for me to do the recommend or not here because I think the themes of it are there. Yeah. I think that, I'm going to give it a conditional recommend.
Okay. Yeah.
Condition is go into it knowing that they're just going to tell you everything.
True. It's less of a thinker than you would think it would be.
Yes. Which is why I think I disliked it so much because it's such a heady concept that they're just like, you're all stupid. We're going to tell you exactly.
Yeah.
Which back in 95, sure. But also, we didn't need all of it explained to us.
I agree with you. On that.
Yeah.
For sure. So that was good. So Josh, if you're watching the VOD tomorrow or whenever, let us know what you think. Join us in the Discord.
He's going to come for me, dog.
And listen, he lives relatively close to you, not close to me, so your house is going to get burned down first.
Great. Sure. Definitely definitely looking forward to that.
Make sure your insurance is in order.
I'm gonna need it. Gonna need it.
But thank you everybody for dropping by. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Honestly, and again, the biggest thank you. We've had such a big uptick in traffic on our episode from yesterday. Lots of great feedback from you all. We had a really, really good time talking about really bad movies that I hated and will never watch again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's definitely worth the listen. I definitely think you guys would side with me and tell Blake he's wrong. So let's get to that point.
My God, I will literally devote an entire stream to talking in circles with you about The Notebook and how the relationship makes no fucking sense, especially when you're talking about it in cinematic form. Fine, whatever. In reality, do whatever dumb shit you want to do. I don't care. It affects me in no ways. But tell a better story. Tell a better story. Make it make sense.
A lot of people think that it is a good story.
The
What
YouTubers
if you
are
like this?
boxing
Fine.
these days. You guys should probably just box it out, just like all the YouTubers. Wearing the outfits
we know
from The Notebook.
Okay, we know that Dave's gonna win, so shut up. This is a bad look for me, dude. Jordan, don't. I thought we were brothers.
Kinda.
Let's have a chess tournament.
Uh-oh.
Mom, listen to the episode, dude. Okay, whatever.
Don't
Go
explain.
back and listen to this. We talk about it, but go listen to the episode. I think the movies is like lowercase f fine.
You're gonna get grounded, man.
That's fine. I think the old people storyline, fantastic. Chef's kiss. I think the young Noah and Allie story is garbage. I think it's hot trash, and there's no reason why they should be together. Make it make sense, Nicholas Sparks. That's all I'm going to say. Whatever. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. Okay? Just listen to the episode. Listen to the episode, dude.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for her to ground you. That's all.
That's okay. Whatever. She's going to visit me, I think, in like July. She can ground me then.
I can't wait. Hopefully I'm there by then because I'm going to love becoming. Man, I wish we could hang out, but you got grounded for your opinions on The Notebook.
Joke's on everybody. I ground myself. I never leave.
Oh, shit.
But
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, join us next week when we're probably going to have similar arguments about hackers and virtuosity, I guess.
Dude, these movies are bonkers. I actually am excited to watch them again. We're gonna talk about hackers and virtuosity from the 90s. Both are tech-based movies.
Yes.
And bad ones.
Great. I'm excited. I love bad movies.
See. They're fun. They're going to be really fun to talk about. We can reminisce about the 90s. But in case you wanted to know, we do have season 3 of our podcast coming out next month. Dave, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about. I don't know if you want to get into yet what we're discussing.
No, we can wait a little bit on exactly what types of movies, but we're reaching into some new genres this season that we haven't done yet, which is fun. It's been fun so far. I really think you guys are gonna love what we got cooking, and I think tell your friends. We love some more ears to talk into.
Please do. You can follow us on all our social medias at First Prize Pod. We post clips and stuff daily and from the stream. But also you can give us a follow here on Twitch for free. You can also give us a sub. If you have an Amazon account, you can sub to us for a month for free as well. Any of that stuff helps, and we love you so much.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Shut up, Chloe one. I don't even care. I don't even care. Get better friends. Whatever.
Oh, amazing.
Until next week when we argue about more dumb shit that doesn't even matter, I'll catch you then.
Bye. The thing is, the reason why you're so weird about it is because you just don't get it, okay? You can't explain it. Teenagers are not able to explain why they love things or people, for that matter. So they're just literally going with their chemicals going off in their brains and their hearts and their feelings, and they just it's impossible to explain. So I don't know why you are so bent out of shape about being explained to, because it doesn't matter, because that's just how love